Well, it's ripening YouTube. I'm back here on my farm today and sitting right here next to a nice rack of dwarf Namwa bananas. Um, these are really nice bananas. They taste great. Taste just like the regular Namwas. They're a smaller Asian variety, but the dwarf size, as you can see, I'm actually sitting down. I'm sitting Indian style, and the bananas are right here by my head. These trees only get about 8 feet tall. They're really stout, pretty hard to knock over, so they do well in strong winds, and they're pretty bomb-proof. Excellent tasting bananas for my climate. I started with just a couple pups. You can see there's some nice ones there now, but I've already been cutting pups off of this and spreading them and replanting them. And what I've been doing today is actually replanting them into banana circles. And here's what they look like. So again, here's the, I'm 6 foot something, and this is how tall the bananas are. And there's the bananas way down there. Nice and dwarf. So here's a nice little banana circle that I dug. I'll show you in a second how I did it. But actually, I call them banana triangles because I only have enough pups to do 3 per pit. But I got them one there. I got them kind of in between my fruit trees. Here's another one. This clump had 2 extra pups, so that's where these 2 came from. The one back there, I actually moved pups from somewhere else that I had planted. Here's the one that I just finished doing. Basically, if you can see, my beds are pretty much a straight line. All I did was I took the pitchfork and lifted this mulch and put it on both sides. Let's see if I can see it. So I piled some up over here and I piled some up over here, and I left that area empty, and then I planted my pups just outside of the edge of my beds, laid down cardboard around them, and then dug my pit and used that to make this little kind of berm around the edge. And now that I have the pit, the idea is that you fill the pit back in. In this case, I had to remove a little bit of grass, so first thing I'm going to do is throw the grass back in the hole. And normally I wouldn't want grass in my planters, but this is at the very bottom of the hole, and I'm going to cover it with a bunch of other stuff, so there's not a lot of risk of it coming up. Let me just chuck the rest of it in here. And then I have a little bit of cardboard, leftover scraps. Got a few banana leaves from when I was trimming these things up. The idea is that this is a lower point, so the moisture is going to collect there when I water it, or when it rains. That lower piece is going to act like a sponge, and it's going to fill up. I'm going to fill this up to where it's actually, instead of being a pit, it's going to be a mound of material in the middle, and it's going to collapse and be refilled and collapse and be refilled. And it gives me somewhere to put, like, you know, we do a lot of composting, or we have a lot of kitchen scraps in my house, and I kind of hate having a compost bucket or bin or whatever. I don't really like dealing with it, but this gives me a place. I've got, let's see, I've got on this row, I've got 1, 2, 3 banana circles. These are all the dwarf ones. I did one of the ice cream on the next aisle, and then I did a Rajapuri over there, and a Cuban red over there, and I've got some other ones. But now I have a spot. Every time we fill up our compost bucket, next time I'll put the compost bucket in here, cover it with something. Next time I'll put it in that one, cover it with something, that one, cover it. It gives me somewhere to put things instead of having to turn compost, which I'm honestly just way too lazy to do. So this is kind of it's pretty well known doing banana circles. It's not like I invented it. I just wanted to show you my version. It also is giving me a way to change the edges of my beds. The reason I kept them straight originally was for me to stay organized with my install, and to have access to bring in equipment. Now that I've got the mass, you know, I mulched these really heavy so that I wouldn't have to come back for a while. Now that I've got the mass of it mulched in, I'm going to run irrigation, which will be probably temporary, maybe 2 or 3 years of irrigation for my mounds to establish the trees. But I shouldn't have to bring in heavy equipment through here very often or ever, so I'm going to start extending these edges out, and this is just the first step, extending the edges with banana circles. I'm actually going to be doing the same thing over here with my coconuts. I've got several varieties that I've collected. This one right here, they don't look great because it's been really dry. I just mulched around it. This is a red spicata, and I got one over there, and I got one over here. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the bananas with these. I'm going to make coconut circles. In this case, the coconuts are going to be wider spaced because I want the crowns to have room. So instead of having them, I think those are like 6 or 7 feet apart, these are probably going to be more like 10 or 11 feet. The pit will probably be, doesn't have to be that big of a pit, but if I need material, that's a place I can go get it. Actually, I'm probably going to use that pit material to help me build mounds because I'm going to be planting some jackfruit trees pretty soon, and I want to put those up higher. So I may not even use that much of the material for these, you know, this front berm. I'll use enough for that, and then whatever else I get out of that pit will go into mounding up my jackfruits. But the coconuts, if I space them out a little bit further, the crowns will have some room. I don't mind if they lean out. Actually, I kind of want, if you can imagine having coconuts planted along the edges, both edges, and having them kind of lean in and kind of canopying over this throughway. That's kind of what I want long term. And I'm gonna plant coconuts all along this whole thing, in between my fruit trees, and do the little coconut circles just like that. So I'm excited about that, and I just wanted to show you and share how I'm extending my edges and how I'm doing these banana circles. Here's an example of I just put a whole bunch of Tithoni cuttings in there. That's the Mexican sunflower. Did the same thing over here. Just building up that sponge there. As time goes by, I'm going to keep filling it up, and it's going to feed the bananas. I was amazed when I pulled up the mulch to do these pits. The roots were just everywhere, all through the mulch, all at the bottom of the mulch, big fat roots everywhere. And that's why these bananas look so good. These are not old. These started from little small pups, and they're absolutely going off. I haven't seen them grow this well before, mainly because of the thick mulch. Now that I've got the pits, they're going to be pretty much drought-proof as far as I can tell. And then once I get the irrigation on them, they're just going to take off. So that's where we're at. Here's my dwarf Namwa. Can you see them? Dwarf Namwa bananas. Get them if you can. They're pretty awesome. See you next time.